Good morning. This is Rich Sierra. I'm the host of Business SOS, 8 Common Legal Mistakes Business Owner Makes and How to Avoid Them. This is episode number 25 of our podcast. We're very excited. It's a nice, very exciting milestone. I'm the president of the Florida Small Business Legal Center here in Boca Raton, Florida. Today we're going to talk something a little bit different than the traditional legal topic that we usually talk about. We're going to talk about the subject of marketing. And you're asking yourself why you want to talk about marketing. Well, I believe that if you have good marketing, good sales, you can avoid legal problems. A lot of legal issues that happen in small business, they originate from the shortage of cash. Whether a contract is not paid, whether you're not able to fulfill your obligations, cannot pay your lease because sales are slow. So you have to kind of go back in Business SOS, in my book, in chapter 5, is lack of understanding how the business will make money. And I have a small section about marketing, and I want to share that with you, share my thoughts. What do you know about marketing? Well, let me share something a little bit more about my background. I do have a marketing degree from the University of Tampa. That's my undergrad. I was one of the top students in the class. In fact, myself and my friend and fraternity brother, Barry Kurwitz, we won the Outstanding Student, Martin Himmel Outstanding Student of the Marketing Student of the Year Award. So we have, I have a background in marketing that I can share with you, and I'm happy to share it with you. And in fact, this is not my first business. Prior to becoming an attorney, I actually ran in one of the first online job boards in the country, called healthcarerecruitment.com, and started that sometime in 1998, just when the web was beginning to start. And we ran it all the way to 2002 when I sold it. So, I've been involved with online marketing for a number of years now, and it has evolved. It has evolved, obviously, through the years with the addition of social media. But no matter what, in my opinion, no matter what new channels are available for marketing, the principles stay the same. So I want to share that with you. And I did a short presentation to a mastermind group that I belong to called the Advocates Boardroom. And we talked about those principles, and I share those with them. And that has been the reason why kind of has followed my marketing plan in my law practice and my businesses. And because the principles don't change, the channels and the vehicles do change, but the principles do not change. So I want to share that with you as well. So when depending on the business you're in, you basically going to have your marketing plan. You're going to have your sales plan. And one of the things that when I talk about marketing is that you need to understand who you're selling to. I guess principle number one in this case would be know your target market. Know who you're selling to, the demographics. And let's talk about an example. And I usually go back to a restaurant example because people can relate to it. It is we all go out to eat in different types of restaurants. So when you're looking at, say, a Italian restaurant in the area, in a suburb, and you're going to open a restaurant, you basically want to find out, okay, who lives in that community? Okay, what neighborhoods you have there? What competitors do you have? What is the average household income of that area? So you got to find that out in terms of, determining whether or not where to open that restaurant, where to open that business, because those are going to be your customers. They're going to basically travel in a 5-mile radius. They're going to travel wider area. You got to determine that. So understanding who you're selling to, who is going to be your target market, and the demographics of that target market is important. So a lot of times people go into businesses and say, okay, I'm just going to open a business and it's going to be great. We're going to start going around looking for different locations. But they don't really do the homework before that. And who are they going to be selling? Who's going to be that ideal customer or next to ideal customer that would be the most likely candidate to benefit from your services. You got to do that homework first. And so my principle number one and my marketing principles is know who you're selling to, know your target market, know the demographics, region, know it. If you do not know that, if you go into business and you're going to have a problem later on finding out that you perhaps opened a business in the wrong location, you underestimated or overestimated, whatever the case may be, that there will be a demand for your services. So you have to know that. The second principle that I share with you is that your marketing has to be dynamic, meaning that, we always we receive information from different medias. We receive it to our phone via text, receive it through a TV, receive it through our downloads, through our streaming services, through our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and now it's X, Instagram, TikTok. You have LinkedIn. You have so many of them. So you always want to constantly, when you have your marketing program, you want to have that it has to be constantly changing and constantly being available. And you got to basically change it up with a consistent message, but you got to continually making that message be known by always using those marketing channels and always be ahead of the curve. So you don't want to be static. So it's going to put one ad and it's going to work. And I'm going to let you in a little secret. In my opinion, a lot of the advertising does not work. It's just the fact. Simply because one ad in one location is not going to work every single time. What you want to do is basically make sure that you're available, your message is available as often as possible in the target areas to the consumers that you're selling to. And you got to do that through different medias because you want your message to be seen repetitively in those consumers, those customers, potential customers. So it has to be dynamic, it has to be constantly changing. An example of that is posting social media posts. And, once a day or every other day, you always want to continually be in touch with those potential customers so they know that when they think about needing your services, you come top of mind. So first principles, know your target market, demographics, income level, dynamic. You want to always constantly be changing the message. You want to constantly be in front of your customers. The third principle that I want to share with you is that you need to have an efficient sales process. And what I mean about that is that so you were able to get the attention of your potential customer. You were able to get their interest. You were able to get their desire to actually purchase your product or utilize your services. And you actually now, they want to take action. And that's basically, I'm giving you the marketing 101, is the AIDA process. Attention, interest, desire, and action. That's been around for a long time. If you took marketing 101, they went over that with you. But I'm just giving you kind of a crash course in marketing in this case, simply because those principles are important and those principles are basically the basis and the foundation of any marketing program. So by having an efficient sales process, what I mean is this, is that you're going to go in, people say, I'm interested in your services. In this case, we talk about the restaurant. I want to go in. You got my interest. I got your brochure. I got your flyer home. What is direct mailers that I receive with a coupon for, say, 10% off. I want to try it out. I'll go in. Can I make a reservation online? Can I go to Open Table? Is it easy for me to go in and have that experience that makes me want to come back? And by having that efficiency, it is important. The One of the things is one of my favorite restaurants that I go to is Runyon's Restaurants, and I'm probably going to have the owners here at some point here in Coral Springs, Kevin and Ryan and Joe, simply because what they do, they give you an experience every time you go. And I've been going there pretty much for the last two years, consistently every week. And the reason I go back is because they have a system, they have an experience, and they make us feel like family. And so by having that positive experience makes me want to go back, and I go back. So if you're a business owner, you got to put yourself in the shoes of your customers. Say, what experience are they having? I finally got their attention, spending thousands of dollars in marketing and advertising. I finally got people to call me. I finally people come to my place, in my restaurant. I'm giving them the experience for them to come back. It's easier, it's actually less expensive for you to retain customers than to acquire new customers. So you want to basically have that experience. Okay, what is when they come in, how are they greeted? They sit down, okay? How often do they have to wait for somebody to come help them? To take water, to take bread? How often how long do they have to wait from the order, the time place the order to the time they receive the food? So all those things are important. Those things have to be timed. You want to control that experience so it's a positive one, so they can come back again, say, you know what, I really love this place. I want to go back. So an efficient sales process is extremely important in this case. Another principle number 5, is that you want to create a unique imprint which is impossible to duplicate. Often, and I see companies do this, they just do the same thing everybody else is doing. And whether it's placing Facebook ads, whether it's placing Google ads, and your business is unique, you are unique. So you want to basically create something that people remember you by. Whether it's the experience that when they come to your restaurant and say, you know what, we're different, we're unique. And that is impossible to duplicate, because that creates that bond between yourself and the customer that say, you know what, you're different, you really care, you care about my experience, and that will pay in more dividends and greater dividends than if you hit thousands of dollars in marketing. Every single customer that comes into your door is important. They made the time, they made the effort, they're spending their hard-earned money in your business. So the objective is to have them come back. And how does this relate to a legal issue? Again, as I said before, is that if you have a efficient sales process, an efficient marketing process, that's going to improve your sales, it's going to increase your revenue, and you're not going to have the likelihood of you having an issue, a legal problem, because of shortage of funds. Is going to be reduced significantly. And that's the reason you're in business in the first place. You're in business to make money. You're in business to thrive. But those principles can have to be consistent, which will be principle number 6, consistency in your marketing. When you start your business, you will basically, at the beginning, you're going to put a lot of money to marketing. You're going to pump a lot of money there because you're brand new. So people do not know you, so you have to be recognized. You got to be remembered. You have to get your name out there. You got to acquire new customers. So that initial launch of your business is going to be difficult, simply because you're trying to establish yourself, establish that unique imprint that I talked about before, that is impossible to duplicate in a location that nobody knows about you. And that's the reason a lot of businesses have a difficult time getting off the ground, simply because the startup cost, they underestimate the startup cost that requires to really get their name out there in such a way that bring customers in to generate the revenue necessary to be able to meet the expenses. Inevitably, if they don't do that, or they don't have a cash reserve to be able to survive or be able to meet the gap between the revenue and the expenses, then you have a cash shortfall, and then inevitably something is not going to get paid. It's just simple. It's a simple issue, but if it's not handled properly, it can escalate. So at the beginning, you pump a lot of money into marketing. You begin to acquire customers. Customers begin to utilize services again. It's repeat business. But your message has to be consistent. You always have to have a plan that, you know what, am I placing the social media posts? How often am I posting them? Am I getting the customers that come in? Do I have an email list? Am I getting their information in such a way that I can begin to engage them through an email campaign as well? Do I have a private Facebook group that I can begin to communicate with them? Those people that are coming in to see me, do I have a way of contacting them back and giving them some type of reason to come back, whether it's a birthday 10% discount, or whether something to remember. And I'll tell you two examples of that. We're members of Cooper Hawks. We like wine, and Cooper Hawks Winery here in Boca, and they're in different places here. This one is in Coconut Creek. So every month we get 2 bottles of wine. Obviously, we send that for the program, but also we receive via email, if there's for our birthdays, we receive an email. Say, listen, if you have 10% off for your birthday, come on in. So, but they're always keeping in touch with us for a reason. Melting Pot is another restaurant that does that as well. They make sure that you always receive something for your birthday, whether it's an anniversary as well. So you have to find reasons why to keep in touch with your customers, but consistency is the key, because you always want to be there. You got to remember that people have choices. They have plenty of choices to go to for many of the services that we offer. So what we want to do is create an ecosystem that is ours and is unique. So the more people you have within your network, more people you have within your system, then you don't have to basically rely strictly on the new customers all the time. It's very expensive to rely only on new customers. It's just really, really difficult to do that over the long haul. So as you have your consistent message, once you begin to build that client base, that repeat repeat customers, then you're not going to rely that much on those new customers, but you always have to continually adding new customers to your business, simply because some customers eventually are going to leave. In that part of business, there's nothing wrong with that. It just happens. So the consistent message also is extremely important to you, and it's actually less costly to maintain consistency as opposed to do an ad blast one day for a month, stopping it for 3 months, and then adding another ad blast for another month. That up and down type of marketing strategy is going to be very costly and also just not very efficient, in my opinion. Once in a while, you got to do a blast, but you always maintain a consistent message across to your target audience to make sure that your message is getting out and you're bringing the customers in. So number 6 is consistency. What can I do to advertise? What can I do to market? There are a number of ways, and I'm just going to talk about a few of them today briefly. If you are a consumer type business, obviously, if you have a business that has a location, I highly recommend Google My Business. It's a free profile that you can claim in Google. So if you have not done so, I'd certainly recommend to do that. And again, just go to Google, site Google My Business profile, and then you can follow the instructions as well. You can upload hours of operation. You can upload pictures. You can have reviews. It's basically a website that Google is giving you for free, and also you claim your location. And depending on the type of business you're in, When people find you, people look for a specific type of business, restaurants in my area, you could pop up. So, and I say could because I don't know what Google's rules are. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, but it's a free option that you have. Also, I know that this is not as popular as Google, but Yahoo has a similar program as well. You can claim your business. So I will do that as well. Again, it doesn't cost you any money. It's worth giving it a shot. I would also look into constant contact, acquiring email list of the customers that do business with you, and creating email campaigns that you constantly maintain contact with them. And there's the one that I use, Constant Contact. If you have done business with me before, you have contacted my office, you know that you're getting something from me every month. And I do it for a number of reasons. Number one, I want to keep in touch with you. I want to share with you some of my thoughts and some of the things that I'm doing. But also it's a way that have you remind you that I exist, that my business exists, my legal services exist. So should you have a issue that come along the way in the future, maybe I'm one of the options that you will call. So there's obviously a reason why I do it, and it's very effective. This is my 19th year of practice, and I started doing email marketing sometime in 2012, and it has been very, very effective. So, and I do appreciate the customers that come back, and sometimes I get a newsletter, somebody that pulled my name in their email list, email inbox, and then it's a newsletter for maybe 5 years ago. It's just very comforting and very rewarding to me to know that after so many years, people still remember. And in fact, just a few weeks ago, I received a call from somebody that I helped like 10 years ago. So that was pretty cool when that happened. It's like, you made a difference at that point. Definitely, I will look into YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. There's so many different channels, and at some point, what I'm going to do is bring a social media specialist to really come in and give you more specifics about what to do. My goal here today is kind of share with you some of my thoughts from somebody who does marketing every day. And if you have, in fact, what I'm doing today is also marketing because I'm sharing some of my thoughts, but it's also go through all my social media, marketing channels. And it is no secret that when you're looking for legal services in a small business area, for a small business attorney, it is very likely that you will see my website show up as one of the top 10. It is not by accident. It is by design. So I lead by example, and I think that is a very important thing to know. But I wanted to share this with you simply because I know that by improving your marketing, you'll improve your sales, and you will avoid some of the mistakes that I talk in the book. At least some, not all. We all make them. But at the very least, the issue about not be able to, sorry about that. A bird just hit the wall, the glass. Anyway, you'll avoid some of the mistakes about running out of, not having enough sales and revenue to meet your expenses. And again, you'll be happier by having more sales anyway. I think this is, in terms of for this particular segment, I like to leave it here. And I'm going to bring somebody in that really dedicates their time on digital marketing, social media. I'm going to bring them here to speak and share some of their thoughts as well. But business ownership is not about one thing only. There's so many components that we handle. We handle marketing. We handle finance. We have legal issues. We have personnel issues. So when you as a business owner go in, you're basically, and also customers as well, you have all these different hats that you have to wear. And you're supposed to be an expert in all of them, and it's very difficult. So from time to time, I'm going to share some things that are not directly related to legal, but I think they're important because, in essence, to a degree, everything is related to legal. And everything's related to a small business, so I wanted to share those thoughts with you. If you want to reach me, and I want to ask you to participate in the show. I want to invite you to participate in the show. If you have any legal question that you'd like to share with me, that you'd like to ask me, send me an email at rich@richsierra.com. And if I select that question, if I go over that question in the podcast, I will send you a free copy of my book, autographed, Business SOS, 8 Common Legal Mistakes business owners make and how to avoid them. It is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, in the South, so you can ask for your local bookstores. If you're interested in learning more about our legal services, our website is floridasmallbusinesslegalcenter.com. We're in Facebook at FSB Legal. If you like to watch the video of this podcast, you can go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@Richard Sierra. We're on X at Rich_Sierra. We're on Instagram at FSB Legal. Our number is 866-842-5202. If you like the podcast, I hope you do. Please follow us, and also if you can give us a review, that'll be great. That also helps the algorithm promote and actually suggest this podcast to other business owners. We're available on Apple Podcast, Spotify, and wherever you enjoy your shows. Remember, this is Rich Sierra with the Florida Small Business Legal Center, and my goal is to help you succeed.